Hello and welcome. Welcome to the live session. So this is the second live session which I'm doing relating to legal aptitude in CSEET. So today's session is going to be very interesting where we'll be having an overview about company law, the basic concepts, the basic principles, and what is expected from a company secretary when we talk about the role of company secretary in this profession. So it's going to be very interesting session. So if you can see me and hear me, that is the first thing. Since it's a live session, make sure that you let me know in the comments. Then we can start this session and we can go ahead with all the concepts which we have planned for today. So this is very crucial for us to understand. So the first thing is that this is for CSEET, and you already know that we are starting a batch on August 1st. Okay, so you can hear me and see me. Okay, that's good. Nice. So we are going to start a batch on August 1st. So if you still haven't joined, make sure that you join the batch. It's going to be great fun. And we already had a grand success in batch number 1. We have done the batch number 2 from August 1st. You already had one legal aptitude class, which I took. Ramcharan sir took economics class. Then Ponnamma ma'am took the Viva was. And also, if you observed, we put one session of Ponnamma with the first batch student, Viva was. With every student, we do that Viva was. Like what you have a computer-based exam, we do it with human interaction, where Ponnamma ma'am, our faculty, senior faculty with lot of experience, she'll make sure you're perfect in Viva was. Then Vishwas sir did a great session on logical reasoning. So some students said that they really enjoyed it. Logical reasoning, it's a great subject. And tomorrow we actually have Madhuri ma'am. Madhuri will be teaching business communication. So you're getting a slice of all the teachers. So all the teachers are very dedicated and they're giving you a slice of what you'll be getting in the live classes for CSEET. Already batch number 1 has been a huge grand success. All the students have become great friends. And like I told you, the classes are in such a format that it is live classes. If you miss the live classes, you get recorded classes. And over and above that, you will be having assignments, you will be having presentation in the live classes, then the peer-to-peer learning where students interact with each other, and we have a session where they discuss the points, then we make you write MCQs. So it's going to be a great session where you are ready to get a rank in CSEET. That is what we want to do. We just don't want to give some recorded classes for CSEET. That is not going to work. So we have to make it very much like a live real class. So if you're still not joined, make sure you join for this batch, and the students will be limited. So you'll be getting interaction just like a physical classroom. Now coming back to legal aptitude. So here in today's session, I want to discuss some of the important principles in Companies Act 2013, then the company law, and more importantly, what is the role of a company secretary? What is the role of a company secretary? All this is there in CSEET syllabus. In fact, we have one separate legislation of company secretaries. We have one chapter, and along with that, we also have Companies Act 2013. So the first concept which we want to capture today, the uniqueness of Companies Act is, let's get the basics. So Companies Act has 29 chapters and it has 470 sections. So very good evening. So how many sections Companies Act has? Please let me know in the comments. 470 sections. You should never forget this number, 470 sections. So now students will always tell, how do we remember 470 sections? The good news is you don't have to remember all the 470 sections. In CSEET, if you remember 10 sections, it's enough. Which are those 10 sections? How to remember? We'll tell in the class, don't worry. But for the time being, if you know 10 sections, it's enough. So once you know that company law and Companies Act are under the same bracket. So the first thing is company law is a bigger umbrella. Inside that we have Companies Act 2013. So please understand that Companies Act is one legislation which governs companies in India. So any company which is incorporated in India or wants to do some business in India, they have to follow Companies Act 2013. So Companies Act 2013, as you know, it is from 2013, effective from 2014. Before this, we had Companies Act 1956. So before Companies Act 1956, we had Companies Act 1913 before independence. So like that, from the time Britishers have been in India, all our company law, in fact, most of the law are what we call is based on English law. English law means the law which England used to have, and most of the Commonwealth countries have a similar legal system. Commonwealth countries is what? Any country where the Britishers had colonized and Britishers had ruled, like Canada, then Australia, many African countries, then in South America, one country called Guyana, then India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, obviously, Sri Lanka. So all these countries have a similar history, and the legal system was introduced by British, and English is our language. We are speaking in English, right? That's mainly because of that. The same thing if you see South America. South America, we don't get too much news about South America. Have you observed? Everything in South America happens through Spanish, except the small country of Guyana, which is part of the West Indies and all, because most of the South America, it was colonized by Portuguese and Spain. Spain used to colonize the South American region, right? So that is why their legal system is very much like the Spanish and all. Even the language they speak Spanish. Spanish is the main language over there in South America. But in India, it is English. In Philippines, it is English. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Canada, Australia, because all these countries, Britishers ruled and the language came. Just like the language, even the law has evolved. So most of our laws is derived from the English system. So the English system of law is what we follow. And this is the first thing which you should know. So the Companies Act of 2013 is one part of company law. Please understand, company law is a bigger umbrella. So first is what? Company law. Then we have Companies Act 2013. So we are bothered in CSEET. What are we studying? We are studying elements of company law. That means we are studying the principles, and we are also studying some provisions of the act. Principles means what? Like in the last class on YouTube, what did we do? I told you about corporate personality. We discussed a very interesting case of Lee versus Lee's air farming, if you remember. Correct? Lee will be there, then he's the employer, employee, managing director, shareholder. He dies in an air crash. Wife will ask for compensation. Correct? Then the court says that the magic of corporate personality. What does the court say? The magic of corporate personality enables Lee to be employer and employee at the same time. The magic of corporate personality enables Lee to be employer and employee at the same time. It is so interesting. You'll really fall in love with company law as and when you're studying. Of course, even constitution law, law of torts, Indian Contract Act, all the laws are great. Nothing that one is great or less, but company law is the focus. So in today's class, first we understood about 470 sections, 29 chapters, and one of your friend has also told 7 schedules, Ria. Yes, so even 7 schedules are there. Don't worry about the schedules right now. Next, once we know this is the part, next we come to the most important, which all of you should know, is separate management. So please type it in the comments. Separate management. This is a very, very unique feature which I wanted to discuss. See, in the actual classes, we'll go to the book, we'll be having charts, we'll be giving you notes, then we'll be teaching you with a blackboard or a whiteboard and all that. But today on YouTube, I want to first get some concepts. It's more like a discussion format. We want to do it. If you observed, most of our teachers are doing the discussion format. Of course, in logical reasoning, we had to use the blackboard. Yesterday, Vishwas sir used the blackboard and he taught, right? Because logical reasoning is all problems. So no use just talking like this. So that is why we have done that. So separate management, very good. So not everybody is typing. See, you have to be active. Our whole point of the classes is we have to have an interactive session, just like a physical classroom. Yes, we are not sitting in front of each other, but we should act like that and we have to learn like that. See, the problem is if you are not participating, you will not learn. And in the live class, the best part is engagement. We are engaged together in a live format, and you will not lose the traction, or you will not lose the attention like in a recorded class. So yes, so now after I told, some more people are typing separate management. See here, what are the forms of business? What is the first one? Proprietorship firm. Okay. Then we have partnership firm, correct? Then limited liability partnership act. That is the third one. I'll tell you in detail when we do the classes. This is the third forms of business. Then if it is a non-trading concern, trust or society. Non-trading concern, we go for trust or society. Dhanush, correct. LLP, limited liability partnership is the thing. Next we have company. Correct? Company. In company, we have private limited company, public limited company. Private limited company, public limited company. Broadly. Then you can go more in deep. Like what? One person company, charitable company, government company, foreign company, producer company, Nidhi company. So many companies are there. Even classification wise, associate company, holding company, subsidiary company, classification is there. But in types of company, broadly we say private and public company. Correct. See now when you compare proprietorship, partnership, LLP and company. Proprietorship, partnership, LLP and company. So LLP and company will come under the concept of separate personality, or what we call artificial judicial person, artificial juridical person, and this is what we call as opposite of natural person. So company has its own identity, company has its own existence, company has perpetual succession, company will live forever. All this we know very well. Proprietorship, we don't have this. But separate management, what are we studying? Separate management. So separate management talks mainly about the decision making power. I want you to please listen carefully. Decision making power. In a company, there are two decision making powers. In a company, there are two decision making bodies: board of directors and shareholders. Board of directors is what we call management. Shareholders is what we call ownership. Okay. Very, very important for you to understand. Board of directors and the management. Very, very crucial for you to understand. So there is little bit of a power issue over here. We'll just try and resolve it. Yes. So this is what we need to understand. Now, let us first go to the study material and you'll understand this properly. Yes. So if you see here all the concepts which we have, separate management. See, if you see here, the members may derive profits without being burdened with management of the company. They do not have effective, intimate control over its working and elect the representative to conduct corporate functioning. In other words, the company is administered and managed by its managerial personnel. This is what we are trying to understand over here. So what are they trying to say over here? So what are they trying to say? They are telling very, very clearly that the concept relating to company has two decision-making bodies. Which are the two decision-making bodies? Please type it in the comments. Please type it in the comments. Ownership and what else? What is the other concept which we need to understand? Ownership and management. That is board of directors and shareholders. So please get this very clearly, very clearly. The owners of the company are shareholders. Shareholders are the owners of the company. Very good. People are already typing. Directors and shareholders. The owners of the company are shareholders. The management of the company is directors. This is what we need to understand, right? Directors are management owners. So please remember, directors can be removed. Directors can be removed. Directors can be removed by shareholders. Shareholders cannot be removed by directors. Directors can be removed by shareholders, but shareholders cannot be removed by directors. Okay. So I told you there are two decision-making bodies. So what I want you to type now and make note is that company is the only form of business which has two decision-making bodies. I repeat, company is the only form of business which has two decision-making bodies: board of directors and shareholders. So please type that down. Please get that into your head. Very, very crucial. Company is the only form of business which has two decision making bodies. Are directors appointed by shareholders? Exactly true. So one of you are asking, are directors appointed by shareholders? Yes. The principle of company law is that the owners of the company are shareholders. To run the company on a day-to-day basis, we are appointing directors. So shareholders appoint directors for the day-to-day functioning of the company. So I want all of you to please type this. Company is the only form of business which has two decision-making bodies. Please type it in the comments. Why is this? Because board of directors will decide in the board of directors meeting. Short form is board meeting. Board of directors will take decision in board meeting. Shareholders take the decision in general meeting. General meeting means annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, basically shareholders meeting. We call it as members meeting or shareholders meeting. So please remember one thing very, very carefully. There is a clear demarcation. There is a clear demarcation in company law which says that what decisions directors have to take, what decisions shareholders have to take. Very clear. Directors cannot interfere in shareholder decision. Shareholders are not supposed to interfere in directors' decision. Of course, if directors does some fraud or directors done something against the company, shareholder can remove the director. Definitely, that is possible. If more than half of the shareholders decide, let us remove this director, they can be removed. There is no problem. But please remember that there is a clear demarcation. So decisions will be very, very perfect. Decisions will be perfect. Why? We have directors taking the decision in board of directors meeting, shareholders taking decision in shareholders or members meeting. This is very unique. This is not there in proprietorship. In proprietorship, how many decision making bodies are there? Only one, proprietor. In partnership, you may have even 20 partners, but the decision making body is just one, that is all the partners together. We don't have concept of director and shareholder in partnership firm. Do we have? You only tell me. Do we have shareholders and directors in partnership? No, we don't have that. All of them are partners. They can have different different profit sharing. One partner may be 80%, one partner may be 5%. It's okay. But as a body, they have only one. That is all the partners together. Next, we come to LLP, Limited Liability Partnership Firm. Even here, we have only one decision making body. That is the partners together, they have to decide. And in company, we have a concept of shares. We have a concept of shares. If you give money to the company, company will give you shares. So you can sell the shares. It's an asset. Share is an intangible asset. But you don't have that in proprietorship, partnership, LLP, even non-trading concern, not-for-profit concern, non-government like trust, society, we don't have it. So that is the uniqueness of company. That is what you should understand. And that is why role of company secretary is very high in a company. Even to conduct a meeting, who will conduct board meeting? Company secretary has to conduct board meeting. Who will conduct annual general meeting? Company secretary has to conduct annual general meeting. Who will advise the directors? Who will advise the directors? Company secretary has to advise the directors. Imagine tomorrow you're in a, tell me any company name. You just type some famous company name. Let us say you are a director in Reliance. If you are a company secretary in Reliance, you will be advising Mukesh Ambani. Look at your position. You are advising Mukesh Ambani. You are not just working for him. Wipro, Azim Premji. If you are a company secretary of Wipro, you are advising Azim Premji about law. You are not advising business. They know business very well. That is why they made such a big business. But you are advising them on how to grow the business, how to restructure the company, how to comply with the law, how to make sure that we open new companies, new branches, different countries, how we open overseas subsidiaries, how do we merge with other companies. Just look at the wonderful role which you have. ITC, Tata. So if you are in Tata, you are advising Ratan Tata. See the position of company secretary. I want you to know this in CSEET level itself, because I get very, very disturbed when many students, they're only thinking exam, exam, exam. Give me the notes, give me that, give me this. They're not understanding that they're not just preparing for exam. You're preparing for your entire life. You are preparing not for exam. You are preparing to advise Ratan Tata, Mukesh Ambani, then Azim Premji, correct? Anand Mahindra, Sanjeev Goenka. All these people you are advising. Of course, some people might not take your advice like Vijay Mallya and run to another country. But please understand, you are not preparing for CSEET exam, CS executive, CS professional exam. That is just something you have to do in the journey. It is just a hurdle. I want you to widen your vision. I want you to have a grand vision that you are studying now to become an expert. You are studying now to become a professional. You are studying now to become a company's doctor. See, now doctors are so important in society, especially when there is a pandemic. Like that, you are studying to become the doctor of corporate world. You are studying to become company secretary of corporate world, which is nothing but doctor. You are studying to advise the board of directors. You are studying to advise the shareholders. You are studying to conduct the operations of the company as per the Companies Act 2013, as per SEBI, as per regulations, as per guidelines, as per the rules. That is what you are preparing for. Please don't tell exam 1 mark, 2 mark. I don't like this narrow attitude of students. Please have a grand vision. Please have a grand vision. That is the important thing. So we discussed about Companies Act, 470 sections. Then we discussed about the concept of separate management, ownership and management. Then I told you how important role of company secretary will come there. Correct? So far, any doubts, any clarification which you have? Are you understanding? No doubts? Yes? Okay. Now that we have this, what we'll understand is some of the concepts related to how this Companies Act came into picture. The Companies Act 2013, actually the journey starts in 2004. December 2004, Government of India says we need a new Companies Act. See, now you tell me, in the age of mobile phone, can you live with typewriter? Can you live with typewriter in the age of mobile phone? Can you live? The answer is no. You can't live in the age of mobile phone with a typewriter. Same way, companies were evolving. But company law was 1956, correct? Companies Act 1956 was there. Companies Act 1956 was there. But in 2004, Government of India said we need a new company law which will give the entire picture about doing business in the 21st century. This was the vision of the Government of India. So they appointed J.J. Irani Committee. J.J. Irani Committee. So J.J. Irani was a director in Tata Group. They made him the chairman and they told, please give us a simplified law. Please give us a simplified law. Okay. So J.J. Irani, they took 5 months. In 2005 May, they gave a report for a simplified compact law. So they made from government approval to shareholder approval. That means whatever Companies Act 1956 Act told we need government approval, Companies Act, which the report was proposed by J.J. Irani, they told we'll make it shareholder approval. That means if owners of the company agree, we don't have to bother too much about anything else. So this was the major shift. So here from 2004 to 2013, the bill was tabled, then it was discussed, then in the parliament rejected it, members did not vote. Finally, in 2013 August, this bill was passed, and from 1st April 2014, this bill came into existence. So any doubts about the Companies Act 2013? You want to ask anything? You can please let me know if you want to ask anything. What is difference between schedule and section? So Sam, basically the Companies Act or any act is divided into first chapter. So Companies Act has 29 chapters. After chapters, it is divided into sections. Under each chapter, you have different sections. Companies Act has 470 sections. Then sections are divided into subsections, clause and all that. Now, when you want a practical procedure about some section, which is detailed manner, that can be given in a schedule. Schedule gives the exact details about the practical section. For example, we have Companies Act, Memorandum of Association, Articles of Association. So articles, let's say section 4 talks about Articles of Association. But how the Articles of Association format should be there is given in schedule number 1. Schedule 1, table A. Okay, schedule number 1, table A and table F. Table A is MOA, table F is Articles of Association. So this is there in the schedule. The entire Articles of Association cannot be given in the section. What is articles? What should be in articles? What is the principle of articles is given in section number 4. But the format of articles is given in schedule number 1 and table number F. Like that, we have 7 schedules of Companies Act. So schedule 7, for example, is corporate social responsibility. I'll give you an example. Section 135 talks about corporate social responsibility. Okay. But what are the activities for which we can do corporate social responsibility? That is not in section 135. That will be in schedule number 7. Okay, this is how it happens. Same way for format of balance sheet, P&L account, all this will be in the schedule. It won't be in the section, right? When you understand in depth, you'll go get it. Yeah, Nancy, can you explain again? So very simple. In 2004, they started the process of Companies Act 2013, but it took so many years. Why? Because in 2004, they first gave a report to the job to J.J. Irani. 2005, J.J. Irani submitted the report. Then government started tabling the bills and discussing in 2008, 2009, 2011, 12. Then finally, in 2013, they passed the Companies Act 2013. And this gave rise to the effective date from 1st April 2014. In simple words, we can say that. We can go in depth later. So this is related to CSEET. So we are studying CSEET. So all the questions should be related to CSEET. So SLCM to study from module or note. So module is definitely better. Notes is just to make it easier for you. but I would always suggest module. But when module is difficult, we have prepared notes. You can study that. But now this session is mainly for CSEET. We need to discuss that concepts over here. Okay. Now that we know this concept, uh, what we can do is understand the role of company secretary in brief. Okay. Now, please all of you type this section number 203, section number 204, section number 205. You should never forget this. Section 203, appointment of key managerial personnel. Section 204, secretarial audit. Section 205, functions of a company secretary. The numbers at least you remember: 203, 204, 205, because it is related to your career and your course, which is company secretary course, right? So first, let me tell you about section 205 itself. What is the role of company secretary? Very important. See, in Companies Act, how many sections are there? 470. But nowhere they have told role of chartered accountant, role of lawyer, role of CMA, like that. Of course, there is audit and auditors that is related to chartered accountant itself. That is very much true. But specifically for company secretaries, we have a section 205. What are the functions of a company secretary? What should a company secretary do? So companies, in what condition a new Companies Act comes? So whenever the existing law is obsolete, existing law is not useful, we need a new law for the new companies. Like there were so many companies which were doing cross-border transaction, MNCs, merger, amalgamation, foreign subsidiary. So Companies Act 1956 did not give the right framework, the right platform to conduct these activities. That is why all the companies started to put pressure on the government, saying that Companies Act 1956 is too old. You are telling us to use typewriter in mobile phone age, in simple words. So that is why government started the process, but it took a long time. Also, there was one superstition. The superstition was government, whenever government tried to make new company, government fell down. And actually that became true even in 2013. So what happened in 2014? The government changed, right? Earlier it was Manmohan Singh government, then it became the NDA government. So it again became true, that superstition became true. Whoever will make new Companies Act, the government will fall. So that is why that took so long. That is not for your exam. That was one information which you should know. Okay. So in functions of company secretary, first thing is company secretary should ensure the company is complying with the law. Company secretary should ensure company is complying with Companies Act, the company's rules, circulars, notification, everything. Then company secretary should ensure that company is following secretarial standards. See, we have accounting standards. Okay, chartered accountants does accounting standards. Same way, you should be very proud. ICSI, for the first time in the whole world, they have introduced secretarial standards. That is, how should you send a notice to meeting? How should you conduct a meeting? How you should take attendance in a meeting? They gave a detailed procedure. They gave a detailed standard. That is only secretarial standard. And secretarial standards are the first time in India and also by ICSI. You should be very happy. In fact, now other countries are complying with Indian Company Secretary Institute secretarial standards. It is so interesting. Recently, Malaysia has adopted Indian secretarial standards adopted and proposed by Institute of Company Secretaries of India. And very soon other countries are also going to follow. Even if they don't take our secretarial standard, they will take the concept. See, everybody was talking accounting standard. Nobody was thinking of secretarial standard. See, now you want to call a meeting. How do you call a meeting? Simple question. you will send a notice, correct? Even if you want to call board, what are the meetings? Board meeting and general meeting. That is shareholders meeting and directors meeting. Directors meeting means board meeting. So how will you call a meeting? You'll send a notice. So Companies Act says, okay, you can send a notice. You can refer section 101 and all that. You can send a notice for the meeting. Okay. But the Companies Act section will not give full details. They're only giving you the brief details. So Company Secretary Institute, ICSI, it is our ICSI, your and our ICSI, they told that let us have a clear secretarial standard. Let us have a clear secretarial standard which will give more details. How many days you should give notice? What is the time of the meeting? What is the format? How the notice should be sent? They gave more details than Companies Act. In simple words, that is the secretarial standards. So secretarial standard is mandatory for all companies. Section 118, subsection 10. Section 118, subsection 10. Please refer. You'll know which company's secretarial standard will be applicable. So this way, more and more companies have to comply. So this is what section 205, functions of company secretary. You just see here, in that we have section 118, section 101. So many sections come together. It's really amazing. Then company secretary should ensure the company complies with all applicable laws for the company. All applicable laws means Income Tax Act, security laws, economic laws, labor laws, local municipality laws, subject specific, sector specific laws, MSME, or if it is a medical company, pharmaceutical related, then drug and cosmetics act. If it is something related to automobile, motor vehicles act. So like that, different laws we have to follow. So company secretary function, section 205, to comply with Companies Act and all applicable laws. That is great. Next is secretarial audit 204, section 204. For all the bigger companies, secretarial audit for bigger companies, how chartered accountant does statutory audit end of the year before the annual general meeting. Same way, for bigger companies, company secretary should do a secretarial audit. That means, did the company follow Companies Act? Did the company follow other applicable laws? Did the company follow secretarial standards? Did the company comply with the compliance management system? Don't worry with all these words. Just you need to understand, a company secretary should go to the company and check whether all these transactions are done. And now recently, even for private companies with outstanding loan amount, private companies where outstanding loan amount is more than 100 crores, even then you need secretarial audit. So our job of company secretary is becoming wider. Before it was only for public company. Now public company and private company with outstanding loans of more than 100 crores, even they have to get secretarial audit. This is section 204. Just see the importance of our profession and how you should understand in CSEET level itself. Better get it very, very clear. The opportunity is huge. Even in, I've told you many times, even in middle of the pandemic now, company secretaries are getting job. Nobody's losing the job. So many MBAs lost the job, but that is not the case with company secretaries. That is the speciality of our profession, right? Next, we come to section 203. Okay, appointment of key managerial personnel. So every company should appoint key managerial personnel. Okay, who is this key managerial personnel? So let us just try and understand here. If we go to the study material, we need to understand this. Yeah. So if you see here, company secretary is recognized as a key managerial personnel of a company under Companies Act. Section 203 read with Rule 8 of the Appointment and Remuneration of Managerial Personnel Rules provides that every listed company and every other public company having paid up share capital of 10 crore rupees or more shall have whole-time key managerial personnel. This is very important for you, section 203. So what are we understanding? We need to have whole-time key managerial person. Who is that? Managing director, CEO, manager. Okay, it is any one of them. And see the second point, company secretary. Company secretary. They are not saying any other profession. Third point is chief financial officer. They are not saying chartered accountant. They're simply saying chief financial officer. Anybody can be chief financial officer. It doesn't have to be a chartered accountant. But point number 2, section 203, only a company secretary can be a company secretary, correct? Only a member of the institute, ICSI. So this is the greatness about section 203, where our role is very, very huge. And this is compulsory appointment, any company with 10 crore paid up capital. Now, along with that, even if you don't have 10 crore, Rule 8A says that, okay, every private company which has 5 crore paid up capital shall have a whole-time company secretary. And this is a very, very important position which all of us should understand. This is very, very important that all of us should understand. And this is the scope of our profession. This you should know really, really well, the scope of our profession. So now, if you have any questions, I'll be open. Any question related to what we did today. Today is just overview. We did the class. In the live classes, we'll be going much more in depth and understanding every concept in detail. Today was just overview for you to get the confidence and motivation. What is the role of company secretary? How big Companies Act is there? A little bit of history of Companies Act 2013 and how huge our scope is. The sky is the limit for what all job we can do. And now you're in the first step of CSEET. Tomorrow you can advise the big directors of the big companies of India and the world. And this is a global profession. It is not just for India. It's a great opportunity. So any questions anybody has, I'm ready. Okay, recently we got to know that RBI increased power of CS in companies. Yes, definitely. And it is continuing to go up. More and more sectors are opening to company secretaries. It is about you and me, how we take this opportunity. Amendment of Company Law 2017. Yes, Company Law has been amended multiple times. We'll get to that later. Now you don't have to worry. So when we say first Companies Act, it was somewhere in 1840s, which was in India. But before that, across the world, it has been there before that also. In 1840s in India, it was there. Britishers had done it. Then amended multiple times. Then the first standard law was 1913, 1913. Then 1956, then 2013. Any other questions anybody has? Any other question related to CSEET if you have any question, or how to join the course from August 1st if you have the question, or anything. Will August exam get postponed? This question everybody is asking. It may get postponed. ICSI has to give the notification. Don't worry. Already foundation executive professional is moved to December. CSEET, why they did not postpone is because it's a one-day exam. So they're seeing if the situation improves, they may conduct, because it is just one-day exam, right? So it may happen in August also. Unless it is very difficult, they may postpone. Okay. Yes. So yes, Companies Act has amended multiple times, which Vinay is telling us. Yes, correct. So Nancy, what you can do is you can call our number and also you can fill the form. So we have a form, and I'll share the link of the form to you. If you fill the form, the advantage is one of us will get in touch with you. Okay. So once you fill the form, you will get the details. One second. Yes, so this is the form. You can fill this form and our office people will get back to you. Don't worry. And also now the course fee is highly discounted and we understand Corona and all that. So at a very low cost, this course is being given to you and you're getting physical classroom experience. You're getting live class, you're getting recorded class, you're doing presentation and thing, you'll get homework, then you'll be having peer-to-peer learning, you'll be getting MCQs, you'll be having a Telegram group where we interact and you'll get a lot of friends. Most importantly, you'll be part of our community, and all of us together at Ekcel Academy we'll be learning the company law, logical reasoning, business communication, economics, viva voce, current affairs, and will ensure that you do very well in the exam. Okay. Case study will not come in CSEET, don't worry. It is MCQ based, computer based exam. Computer based exam, MCQ, no negative marking. So exam is not going to be case study wise. Don't worry too much. Some few questions will be there, which is again MCQ. So don't worry too much about cases. What is there in the book, that case is enough. Okay. Any other clarification? So Telegram is already there in our description. We have some public groups in Telegram. So you can join those Telegram groups. So that is also possible. Then we also have specific people who joined the group. We have a small group of people who have joined the classes. That group is also there. So as of now, the exam is scheduled for August end. That is the one-day exam for CSEET. You can also take it in November, December, whenever the exam is there. So don't worry. See, Viva was, we already have completed the live session. We did it day before yesterday. You can watch our video on the channel. It is already completed. And also we have many more videos for Viva was. You can watch that. Any other doubts? So, do you have any other doubts relating to this? So Nancy, as of now, physical classes are not there. We are doing online classes, and in online class, we are giving the physical classroom experience. That is what we are trying to say. You have live, you have recorded, you have homework, you have Telegram group, then you have peer-to-peer discussion. You have a group of friends where you meet everybody online. So right now, that is what we do, and it is already we completed batch number 1. Batch number 1 was grand success. That is why we are coming with second batch from August 1st. Okay, Nancy, make sure you join the second batch. So again, we have a Google form. If you fill that Google form, you'll be able to get in touch with us. Okay. So Rakshita Botra, this for first batch we already completed. So you can definitely prepare for August exam also once you join us. Business communication class. So business communication is tomorrow 7 p.m. Madhuri ma'am is going to have a live class on YouTube. And then later we go to the students who registered and who have joined will be going to the Zoom platform from August 1st. Okay. If YouTube 1 week we are giving free classes so that all of you are comfortable with the teacher, the quality, and then you can take a decision. PK, self-study is definitely not sufficient. That is why we are doing the coaching classes. And to be sure of getting a high marks and to get a rank, you need to take the coaching. Self-study is definitely not sufficient. To make your life easy, coaching is going to help. And we are ready to help you at a very, very minimal cost. Yes, Nancy, you can definitely join. And also you please look at our student feedback. In first batch, just see the student feedback. If you fill the Google form, if you call our number, we'll give you the student feedback. All the students have given 5-star rating. They're extremely happy. It is not what I am telling. So you see the student feedback and you join. This is the best classes, and our classes are in English. Our classes are in English. In English, nobody is giving this quality. That is why make sure you come. So PK, you need to please visit our website or also fill the form. If you fill the form, we'll be giving all the details. Please don't worry about that. Just fill the form. We'll call you and give the details about the cost and all that. Yes, Nancy. In fact, many people from Chennai have already joined, and all of them are very happy in the first batch. So for second batch, you can also talk to the first batch students, take their feedback, and then you can take a decision. So all our teachers are excellent. All our teachers are giving their 100% effort, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy the classes. More importantly, you're part of our community. Once you join, you'll get all the benefits: live sessions, webinars. Then we'll be giving you motivation to study, how to prepare for exam, how to get a rank, all that hand-holding support you get. So you don't have to worry at all. Once you join CSEET, you will be with us till you become a company secretary. Many of our students are even become teacher with us now. Like Impana, recently we made a video, how to do IGNOU BCom. She came to us in foundation, CS foundation. Now she finished executive professional. She's working in a company. She's in a very big company. Along with that, in her free time, she's teaching in our academy. So that is the advantage you get once you join with us. So Kanzul is, I think, our first batch student. Okay, Kanzul Marifa. So she's telling in the comments, Ekcel Academy is great. Thank you for your wonderful words, very sweet, warm words. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Kanzul. And we will get in touch in follow-up sessions for your exam. Don't worry, Kanzul. Okay. So anybody has any other questions, or should we end this session? If you like this session, please make sure you hit a thumbs up and hit that like button. And any more questions, let me know. If you don't have questions, let me know if we can close the session, because we have done most of it. You want to ask anything else? Or can we close this session? Yes, Dhanush, you can do the IGNOU BCom, 3 years IGNOU BCom. You really don't have to worry too much about college and all that. Priyadarshini, just now I came. So if you missed the session, you can watch it again. Don't worry. The entire session, you can watch it again. It will be there. Don't worry. So can I end the session? Let me ask, for example, Dhanush, can I end the session? You have been Majid. Hi. We are in the time of telling bye. Anyway, hi, Majid Arif. Hello. Okay, so I'll be ending the session now. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure that you fill the Google form. Make sure you join the August 1st batch, and also join us for the session tomorrow, which is communication by Madhuri ma'am. Ensure you do that. So thanks a lot and all the best to you. And we will see you in the CSEET second batch starting on August 1st, and ensure that you do very well in the exam. And for more such videos, subscribe to our channel.